welcome you all on the discussion of the session Genotoxicology. Genotoxicology or genetic toxicology is a broader field of toxicology that describes and assesses the effects of chemical and physical agents which alter the structure, information content or segregation of DNA within a cell, causing mutations. While genotoxicity is often confused with mutagenicity, all mutagens are genotoxic. However, not all genotoxic substances are mutagenic. The alterations can have direct or indirect effects on the DNA. The induction of mutations, mistimed event activation and direct DNA damage lead to mutations. The permanent heritable changes can affect either somatic cells of the organism or germ cells to be passed on to future generations. Cells prevent expression of the genotoxic mutation by either DNA repair or apoptosis. However, the damage may not always be fixed, leading to mutagenesis. A genotoxin, genotoxic agent or genotoxicant is a chemical or physical agent that can cause DNA or chromosomal damage. Genotoxic substances are known to be potentially mutagenic or carcinogenic when inhaled, ingested or penetrate the skin. A mutagen is an agent that is responsible for inducing a change in the genetic material of an organism. As many mutations may ultimately result in cancer or be part of the multi-step process of carcinogenesis, mutagens are typically also carcinogens. We will now discuss types of genotoxicants. Genotoxicants may be of physical, chemical or biological origin. They may directly act on the DNA, causing direct damage to DNA and most often result in replication error. Some, however, may act on the replication mechanism and chromosomal partition. Physical genotoxicants include ionizing radiations such as X-rays, gamma rays and alpha particles, ultraviolet radiations and radioactive decay such as carbon-14, etc. Chemical genotoxicants include DNA reactive chemicals such as reactive oxygen species abbreviated as ROS, deaminating agents, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons abbreviated as PAHs, alkylating agents, aromatic amines, alkaloid from plants, bromine and some other compounds containing bromine, sodium azide, benzene, etc. Base analogues, intercalating agents such as ethidium bromide, proflavin, metals such as arsenic, cadmium, chromium, nickel and others, and pesticides, antibiotics and various drugs. Biological genotoxicants include transposons, viruses and bacteria. Genotoxicity tests can be defined as an in vitro and in vivo tests designed to detect compounds which induce genetic damage directly or indirectly by various mechanisms. These tests enable hazard identification with respect to damage to DNA and its fixation. Fixation of damage to DNA in the form of gene mutations, larger scale chromosomal damage, recombination and numerical chromosome changes is generally considered to be essential for heritable effects, and in the multi-step process of malignancy, compounds which are positive in tests that detect such kinds of damage have the potential to be human carcinogens and or mutagens. To assess genotoxicants, researchers evaluate DNA damage in cells exposed to the toxic substrates. This DNA damage can be in the form of single and double strand breaks, unscheduled DNA synthesis abbreviated as UDS, loss of excision repair, cross-linking, alkali labile sites, point mutations, and structural and numerical chromosomal aberrations. Since experience with genetic toxicology testing over the past several decades has demonstrated that no single assay is capable of detecting all genotoxic effects, the potential for a chemical to cause genotoxicity is typically determined through a battery of tests, both short and long termed, and in vitro and in vivo. In vitro assays offer advantages in that they are relatively inexpensive and easy to conduct and do not directly involve the use of animals. But they usually require supplementation with exogenous metabolic activation enzymes in order to simulate mammalian metabolism, and generally do not allow for the consideration of factors including pharmacokinetics and DNA repair that are relevant to the in vivo system. Nevertheless, in vitro assays are typically used to provide an initial indication of the genotoxicity of a chemical, and the results often serve as a guide to subsequent in vivo studies. Now, we will discuss the measurement of genotoxicants using few techniques that include in vitro and in vivo assays. We will now learn in vitro genotoxicity assays. It includes number 1, sister chromatid exchange, abbreviated as SCE assay. It is widely used method for assessing chromosome breakage and repair, though it is much more commonly conducted as an in vitro test. Sister chromatid exchanges, that is SCEs, are reciprocal interchange of replicating DNA segments between chromatids of a chromosome at homologous loci. It is thought to be a result of chromosome breakage, exchange of DNA at homologous loci, and reunion. SCE occurs between the sister chromatids that together make up a chromosome. As it occurs at the same locus in each chromatid, it is a symmetrical exchange of chromosomal material. SCE assay offers a rapid and relatively inexpensive assessment of potential test chemical induced DNA damage. The test can also be carried out on cells treated in vivo. Analysis of SCEs can be conducted in lymphocytes from cancer patients treated with chemotherapeutic drugs, in smokers, and in workers exposed occupationally. In several cases, increased incidence of SCEs has also been noted. This is a sensitive test for compounds that alkylate DNA. It may be useful for detecting promoters such as Forbol esters. Number 2. Chromosomal aberration assay. The chromosomes represent genetic material of an organism and are the most stable organic compound that maintains constancy both in number and in structure. However, chromosomes undergo unusual changes called as aberrations, which can be either numerical or structural. Chemicals causing chromosomal aberrations may be identified with an in vitro chromosomal aberration assay. Cell cultures are treated with the test chemical and then mitosis is arrested in metaphase with an inhibitor such as colchicine. The metaphase spreads are examined to detect aberrations. In numerical aberrations, increase or decrease in number of chromosomes are seen. Types of numerical aberrations are euploidy, that is complete set of chromosomes present in multiples, and aneuploidy, that is partial change in chromosomes. Euploidy exists in three conditions, that is monoploidy, haploidy and polyploidy. Monoploidy refers to the normal condition where one set of chromosome is present. Haploidy is the presence of half the number of chromosomes in a somatic cell. Polyploidy is the condition where the number of chromosomes are present in multiple copies. Aneuploidy is also classified into monosomy, trisomy and nullisomy. Monosomy refers to the condition where one of the alleles of the homologous pair is lost. It is represented as 2n minus 1. Trisomy is a type of aneuploidy where the number of individual chromosomes is more than the number of chromosomes in an organism. It is represented as 2n plus 1. Nullisomy is the condition where both the alleles of a gene of the same pair of homologous chromosomes are lost. It is represented as 2n minus 2. Structural chromosomal aberrations include duplication, deletion, translocation, insertion, inversion, isochromosome, ring chromosome, breaks and gaps. Duplication is the region of chromosome where the genes are duplicated due to unequal crossing over. Deletion is the loss or absence of segment of chromosome. Translocation is the transfer of genetic material from one chromosome to another. Insertion is when a segment of one chromosome is inserted into another chromosome. Inversion is a two-break rearrangement involving a single chromosome in which a segment is reversed in position at 180 degree. Isochromosome is loss of one arm of the chromosome while the other arm is duplicated. Ring chromosome is formed due to removal of terminal portion of the chromosome, leaving two sticky ends on the central portions that reunite to form a ring. Chromosomal breakage occurs at various stages of mitosis, that is G1, S, G2 or M, and during meiosis. If break occurs during the G1 stage, only one chromatid is affected and hence it is known as chromatid aberrations. If a short unstained region on one chromatid or misalignment of the proximal and distal parts of a chromatid with an unstained region is observed, it could be classified into gap or break. Chromatid gap include an unstained region not greater than the diameter of a chromatid. The chromatid break, on the other hand, includes an unstained region greater than the diameter of a chromatid. On the contrary, if breakage takes place during S phase, then both the chromatids are affected at identical loci and it is known as chromosomal aberrations. Number 3. Cytokinesis block micronucleus assay. The in vitro micronucleus assay is a mutagenic test system for the detection of chemicals which induce the formation of small membrane bound DNA fragments, that is micronuclei, in the cytoplasm of interphase cells. These micronuclei originate from acentric fragments, that is chromosome fragments lacking a centromere, or whole chromosomes which are unable to migrate with the rest of the chromosomes during the anaphase of cell division to be included in the main nucleus of the daughter cell. In course of cell division, this material is distributed to only one of the daughter cells. It may form one or more separate small nuclei, that is micronuclei. These micronuclei are smaller in size and can be observed after treatment with spindle poison, that is cytochalasin B. Micronuclei can occur in any cell type of proliferating tissue. They are, however, most easily recognized in cells lacking the main nucleus, mainly erythrocytes. Number 4. Single cell gel electrophoresis assay, also known as COMET assay. It is an uncomplicated and sensitive technique for the detection of DNA damage at the level of the individual eukaryotic cell. It is a standard technique for evaluation of DNA damage or repair, biomonitoring and genotoxicity testing. It involves the encapsulation of cells in a low melting point agarose suspension, lysis of the cells in neutral or alkaline conditions with pH more than 13 and electrophoresis of the suspended lysed cells. The term COMET refers to the pattern of DNA migration through the electrophoresis gel, which often resembles a comet. The COMET assay is a simple method for measuring deoxyribonucleic acid, that is DNA, strand breaks in eukaryotic cell. The intensity of the comet tail relative to the head reflects the number of DNA breaks. The likely basis for this is that loops containing a break lose their supercoiling and become free to extend toward the anode. This is followed by visual analysis with staining of DNA and calculating fluorescence to determine the extent of DNA damage. This can be performed by manual scoring or automatically by imaging software. Number 5. HPRT, that is hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase forward mutation assay. The HPRT assay is an in vitro mammalian cell gene mutation test. This test system is appropriate for use in the initial assessment of the genotoxicity of a test article. The HPRT gene is located on the X chromosome in human and it controls the enzyme hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosyl transferase that plays a role in the purine salvage. In addition to its normal substrate, HPRT catalyzes the transformation of purine analogues such as 6-thioguanine, abbreviated as 6-TG, rendering them cytotoxic to normal cells. Cells with mutations in the HPRT gene cannot phosphoribosylate the analog and survive treatment with 6-TG. HPRT deficient T lymphocytes determined by the cloning assay are mutant cells resulting from in vivo mutations at the HPRT locus. This assay is used to evaluate the potential of a chemical formulation or extract to induce mutations at the HPRT locus and is capable of detecting either DNA base pair substitutions, large and small deletions, inversions and somatic recombinations between non-homologous chromosomes. A statistically significant increase in mutant frequencies among exposed in comparison to appropriate control populations is considered a positive result. The biological significance of a positive result is that the agent induces gene mutations in vivo in lymphocytes of exposed individuals. Number 6. In vitro gene mutation assays. The in vitro assays commonly used in genetic toxicity testing include the Ames bacterial reverse mutation assay, which detects chemicals that cause point mutations or frameshift mutations in histidine auxotrophic strains of Salmonella typhimurium. Example: strains TA100, TA98, TA102, and a reverse mutation assay using a tryptophan auxotrophic strain of Escherichia coli, example WP2 UVRA. Revertant cells grow on minimal agar containing trace amounts of histidine or tryptophan, while wild type cells rapidly deplete the limiting amino acid and stop growing. If there is a toxicologically significant increase in the number of revertant colonies compared with the results of the concurrent negative control, the chemical is concluded to be mutagenic. Moving ahead, we will now learn in vivo assays for somatic cell chromosomal aberrations. In vivo chromosomal aberration assays assess the potential of a test chemical to cause DNA damage that may affect chromosome structure or interfere with the mitotic apparatus, causing changes in chromosome number. The in vivo assays take into account DNA repair processes and the effects of pharmacokinetic factors that do not play a role in vitro systems. There are several short-term assays that detect somatic cell chromosomal aberrations. These include: number 1, rodent erythrocyte micronucleus assay. It is an in vivo assay usually carried out in rats or mice. The animals are treated in vivo and the erythrocyte stem cells from the bone marrow are stained and examined for micronuclei. Micronuclei represent chromosome fragments or chromosomes left behind at anaphase. It is basically a test for compounds that cause chromosome breaks and for compounds that interfere with normal mitotic cell division, especially with spindle fiber function. The micronucleus assay detects chromosome damage and whole chromosome loss in polychromatic erythrocytes and eventually in normochromatic erythrocytes in peripheral blood as the red cells mature. Number 2, rodent dominant lethal assay. A dominant lethal mutation is one occurring in a germ cell which does not cause dysfunction of the gamete but is lethal to the fertilized egg or developing embryo. Dominant lethal effects cause embryonic or fetal death. Induction of a dominant lethal event after exposure to a chemical substance indicates that the substance has affected germinal tissue of the test species. Generally, male animals are exposed to the test substance and mated to untreated virgin females. The various germ cell stages can be tested separately by the use of sequential mating intervals. The females are sacrificed after an appropriate period of time and the contents of the uteri are examined to determine the number of implants and live and dead embryos. The calculation of the dominant lethal effect is based on comparison of the live implants per female in the treated group to the live implants per female in the control group. The increase of dead implants per female in the treated group over the dead implants per female in the control group reflects the post-implantation loss. The post-implantation loss is calculated by determining the ratio of dead to total implants from the treated group compared to the ratio of dead to total implants from the control group. Pre-implantation loss can be estimated on the basis of corpora lutea counts or by comparing the total implants per female in treated and control groups. Number 3. Mammalian bone marrow chromosomal aberration assay. This assay detects clastogenic and angiogenic effects of a test agent in mice, rats or Chinese hamsters. These effects are observed directly by examination of metaphase chromosomes. The assay is based on the ability of a test agent to induce chromosomal, structural or numerical alterations that can be visualized microscopically. The target tissue for the chromosomal aberration assay is the bone marrow because it is rapidly dividing and well vascularized tissue. The maximum tolerable dose can be identified in preliminary test as that producing toxicity such that the higher doses would be expected to lead to mortality or the dose producing evidence of bone marrow cytotoxicity, that is greater than 50% reduction of the mitotic index. A test chemical that induces an increase in the frequency of structural aberrations including chromosome type and chromatid type aberrations is considered to be clastogenic under the test conditions. Number 4. Somatic cell gene mutation in endogenous genes. It further includes mouse spot test and retinoblastoma eye spot test. The mouse spot test was developed as a rapid screening test to detect gene mutations and recombinations in somatic cells of mice. It is capable of detecting both gene mutations and some type of chromosomal aberrations. It is relatively easy to conduct, does not require specialized expertise, and the end point of interest, that is coat spots, can be directly identified by visual examination. Further information regarding the causes of different types of mutagenic events and the gene loci involved can be inferred by examining fur from the spots microscopically. Basic information regarding the reproductive toxicity or teratogenicity of the test chemical can also be obtained by looking for obvious malformations or reduced numbers of pups in each litter. However, mutagenic activity is only detected within the small melanocyte population very early in development. The retinoblastoma eye spot assay is a variant of the mouse spot test that identifies deletion mutations by scoring color spots in the retinal pigment epithelium instead of the coat. A number of carcinogens have been found to induce intrachromosomal recombinations, so the end point scored by this assay is directly relevant to the assessment of carcinogenicity. The assay evaluates a type of genetic effect, that is deletion mutation, that is not identified by many other assays. In sum up, we have discussed the definition of genotoxicity, the classification of genotoxic agents, and the evaluation of these genotoxic agents by several in vitro and in vivo assays. Unlike in vitro assays, in vivo assays are capable of accounting for toxicokinetic factors and DNA repair processes that may, in some cases, modulate genotoxicity within the whole animal. However, existing assays are seriously limited by a range of different factors, including the cost of the assay, the number of tissues in which it may be measured, the state of understanding of the end point, and the nature of the chemicals that will be detected. Thank you.